I have the book up here. You can read the table of contents of the index. By the way, that's all the teacher advisor board and the results. If I were to try to condense it down into a nutshell, this is what about 100 pages on cell biology, mitochondria and DNA, and whether that's gibberish is the same way. About 300 pages on evolution, including maybe 50 pages or so on pure geology, and then maybe 200 pages on physics in the human body, right in the eyes, down in the ear, muscles and bones, and levers. So that's it. So the content, if you're designing science to be taught to your kids, curriculum-wide, year-long, school career long, how is it that we got to this point where there's cells and evolution and bits and pieces of the human body, but there are gigantic gaps? To the best of my knowledge, as far as I can tell, this is the way it happens. Some board somewhere decides we need to have some science standards, so they hire a committee. They gather various scientists and bureaucrats and teachers and representatives and various organizations. They all get together for a big committee, and they all decide what it is the kids should know, and they bicker, and they come up with a list. They make a list of what I call common knowledge, basic principles that they think students should know, and this is the purpose of science education. That we have this list of common knowledge, this list of basic concepts or principles that we think the kids ought to know, and then they give this to the book publishers and the 5 authors and hundreds of viewers who write a book on it. The point I would like to make to you, the point I'm trying to work out in my own head, this is a lot deeper than just bad textbooks. I think this idea of the purpose of science education is much broader than just this. It's in the whole field of education and parenting too, as far as I can tell. Why do we have science education? Because there's this list of things we want our kids to know, and we have to give them this knowledge, and the only way you can do that is it results in this memorization style that I mentioned. The reason that this memorization approach is so prevalent, I think, the reason it's in my thermodynamics book, the Brazilian physics textbook, and this life science book, is because this view of science education. What do we want our kids to know? This list of things. If that's what your point of view is, the only thing you can do is drill into them this list of things. And so, what's the alternative? What's my, Mr. Krieger's view of science education? I think the ancient Greeks and Romans had a very different view of knowledge and wisdom, a view that's not anywhere today. And I would like to bring it back. I think I can summarize it in the words of Cicero. Philosophy, ars vitae. Philosophy is the guide to life. Wisdom is your tool for living. Your knowledge of the different properties of wood and what tools to use to cut it and how to fit different shapes to put them together, that knowledge is your guide to carpentry. It's that knowledge that's necessary to make you a good carpenter. Your knowledge of the properties of different ingredients and spices and how they respond to different flames and heat and combinations, that's the art of cooking. Your knowledge of those principles is the art of cooking, and it makes you a good cook. The art of living, of being a human being, walking through life, facing problems and making decisions, that needs knowledge too. That needs a guide, a set of wisdom as a guide. Philosophy or wisdom, knowledge, whatever you want to call it, is that guide. Science is the physical half of that guide. Science is your child's guide to living in the physical world, to steering him through it, to enabling him to deal with it and make good choices in it. I am not trying to teach your child, I'm not trying to give your child knowledge. I'm trying to lead your child to build his own knowledge and to become a good liver. Living thing. So, what is my point? Or why am I telling you this? I want your help. I want you to give up the idea that we have this Earth rotates, earthquakes are caused by moving plates in the Earth. You know, all this common knowledge you think your kids ought to have. I want you to give up the idea that you have to drill that into them. I want you to take your child's hand with me, take your child's mental hand, so to speak, and help him learn how to think. You know how you help kids learn to hold their hands and they kind of do that? I want to do the same thing with thinking. I want to help guide them to learn how to think their way through life. I want us all to be like Feynman's father. Help me guide your children into learning how to observe, to watch, to compare, to contrast, to ask questions. Help me give your child the pleasure of finding things out.